8 here, and we've been getting a lot of requests to show the turtle. So this is Slider. He is a yellow-bellied slider native to southeastern United States. As you can see, has a yellow belly with brown spots around it, and that's indicative of a yellow-bellied slider. He's native to this region, as I said. When we first got him, was the size of a 50-cent piece. He's not quite a year old yet. And this little guy managed to cross a large field, 2 active runways, and was found on a very busy active flight line on Cherry Point Naval Air Station. Marine Corps Air Station, sorry. Get some gripes about that. But before a friend of ours picked him off the flight line and took him to my wife's office, and she asked if we wanted him. And I said, oh yeah. So I never had one before. I enjoy the hell out of having him. He's entertaining. And a couple of things I want to point out is when we first got him, we had him in a 10-gallon tank. He soon got too big for that, so this is a 15-gallon tank. And at first I had some undergravel filter system on the bottom with gravel, but that would just trap too much of the food, and it really make the water cloudy too fast. And he couldn't get to all the food; he'd sit there and rot. So I suggest you keep a bare bottom with just some decorative rocks in here, some petrified wood we had picked up somewhere, to where he can see and get to the food easier. Get a little aeration bout wand in there. This helps to oxygenate the water. A power filter. I'm not particularly crazy about this one, but I've never had this one before. But it does a job. Does a good job. And then if you have a water turtle, you need to have a floating platform in there for him, which that's what this is, so he can come up and get under the light and warm himself up. I want to caution you, if you have a floating platform like this, do not get an infrared light bulb. It will get too hot, and you will actually start melting that platform with it. This is just a regular 60-watt household bulb. It puts off plenty of heat. In fact, on my 10-gallon aquarium, when I take the top off, I had the light sitting on the side of here. It started melting the plastic on the side because I left it there too long while I was cleaning it. But a 60-watt bulb will give you plenty of heat for them. I wanted to point out is you go to the pet store, you get this light here. You're going to pay anywhere between $15 to $30 for it. It has a nice thick ceramic heat sink up here. And you know, that's fine. But if you go to your big box hardware store, or your hardware store, we got this at our big box hardware store. You can pick up this light for $7. It does the same thing, and it's a whole lot cheaper. And I don't mind the way that looks up there. In fact, I have two of them. This light's not usually here. I wanted to show you the difference. So I have 2 of these lights on here. So I just like the way it balanced out. And again, just regular household bulbs for them. But then I wanted to also show you the difference between an incandescent bulb and the compact fluorescence. Turn that one off. He's always got to have this one on for his heat source. But then a compact fluorescent bulb puts off way, I can get to the switch here, way better light. But I didn't like the way one side was nice and white and the other side was yellow, so I just put 2 household bulbs up here, incandescents. And I use this one for the other tank that I haven't really set up yet. I had some fish in it, but I transferred them. I just think that gives off a better balance of lighting here. Now let's talk about food. When yellow-bellied sliders are young, they're meat eaters. They like a lot of meat and protein-based foods. As they get older, they say they're supposed to switch over to more vegetable-based foods. But right now he's kind of young, so he still eats meat. So what we did is went to the grocery store, and you get the extra small shrimp. They're little baby shrimp almost. You get a nice big bag for it, and it's frozen. Just keep them in the freezer, and he loves them. So you feed him that. I feed him some frozen fish once in a while, or I get the canned sardines and freeze those. Give him little chunks every once in a while. I try to vary his diet or his food from day to day. He has never been really a big pellet eater. He doesn't like the pellet food at all. Doesn't really like crickets. And then something else I wanted to point out here is you go to the pet store, you get this little bottle. Excuse me, Tell. You get this little bottle of food here. It's freeze-dried mealworms. A little bottle, 1.6 ounces, for $7 to $8. Or you go back to your hardware store over in the bird feed section, and you can find this big tub of dried mealworms. This is 6 ounces for $7 or $8, which is a better deal. And it's the same thing. And he loves mealworms. You give him those once in a while. Other things I feed him is there's some matchstick carrots down there in the bottom that he hasn't really finished eating yet. I have given him frozen corn. He loves corn. Some spinach. Loves the spinach. Romaine lettuce. Likes that. Not so much though. And the other day I went outside in the front yard and picked a small dandelion. It had the yellow flower on it still. I just threw the whole thing in there. He ate the flower, he ate some of the stem, he ate a bunch of the leaves, and the roots. Put the roots and all in there. He literally loved the roots. Ate those first, in fact, and ate all of them. So that's another source of food. Also, in the backyard, in the garden, I can find slugs. He loves slugs. Loves the hell out of slugs. Earthworms, little small worms, little red wigglers out of the garden. Loves those too. That's a free source of food. And the little teeny tiny snails that you find out in the garden. I like to give him those for the calcium. He needs to digest the calcium for his shell. And if you have a garden, backyard, just put down a piece of cardboard or some wood. Leave it there for a while and go back out there a few days later. Just lift it up and there'll be all kinds of slugs and worms and snails and all kinds of free food, turtle food for you. And also, food-wise, I don't really feed the goldfish. This is my big giant goldfish. When I first got him, I figured let's put some feeder goldfish in. These were like 30 cents a piece, and if he eats them, no big deal, But they managed to keep away from him long enough to get this big. It is huge. This one's not quite as big because it's younger. They did have a big algae eater in here, a huge algae eater. He must have got slow one day and Slider got him. Had a little dinner. And the goldfish, they help clean up. Because when he eats, he makes a mess. Little chunks and little crumbs go everywhere. That's what the goldfish eats. I don't really feed them. They just eat off of the crumbs of his food. And they help clean up the bottom. They keep it nice and clean for you. And I'm trying to think. Oh, and right now he is in love with the goldfish. And he's always kind of come up and flirting with the goldfish. And the goldfish actually flirts back too. And we'll be doing some video on that too. I got a little bit, but I'll try to get some more. So anyway, this is Slider. I love having him. He's very entertaining. I think I hit all my points that I wanted to mention. And pretty soon we'll be looking for a bigger tank for him. Ultimately, I want to get him into a 55-gallon tank. I'd love to have another turtle, but here in North Carolina anyway, pet shops can't sell them because evidently when people handle turtles down here, they can't wash their hands afterwards and they get salmonella. So the pet shops can't sell turtles down here. You have to find them in the wild. I'd love to get him a mate. I'm pretty sure he's a he because once in a while he gets a little horned up and he sticks his junk out. Likes to do that. It scared the hell out of me the first time he did it because it looks like little black suction cups, and I thought maybe he got a hold of one somehow and swallowed it and was trying to pass it, but turns out it was his junk. And also the goldfish, when he molts his skin, which he pretty much does constantly, the goldfish will actually help get the skin off of him. And actually he doesn't mind that when the goldfish does that. So this is our happy little setup. I like to get some more fish. That's why I have a second tank, so I can put the fish in there first, let them get big, then bring them out here and put them in this tank. Because if they're too small or too slow, he'll get them. I've had cory cats that he's gotten, other algae eaters he's gotten. I've had a Pocosmus in here, you know, the sucker mouth catfish that stick to the side of the tank, which they're very slow, so they didn't last long at all, so don't get those. I would recommend goldfish because they're cheap and they help clean real well, and algae eaters. And I might put some koi in here, which is just a fancy goldfish, I'm assuming. So anyway, that's our happy little setup here, and he's nice and happy, and I think he lives a better life here than he would in the wild because he gets food every day. He has a nice place to sit, nice place. Uh-oh. That's my alarm to go pick up the brats from school. So, it's about that time. But I think he lives a very good life. He's very spoiled, very picky about what he eats. And I really enjoy having him. I read that they live anywhere between 20 to 30 years. So, I mean, if that's true, he's going to be with us for a while. I was hoping he'd do a little flirting here for you, but he's too interested in the camera. What a show off. I will caution you, if you have a turtle, you will be doing a lot more water changes than you would have with just a regular fish, just because of the nature of the way they eat. They make a mess. And if you put too much shrimp in there or too much fish in there and it doesn't eat it all, it clogs the water really bad. In fact, I just did a double water change on it yesterday because I put too much fish in there. I really like to prefer to give him slugs and worms because they're nice and clean. And hopefully he'll switch over to the vegetation here soon, which will also be a lot cleaner. So that slider, the infamous slider that we're always talking about. So till next time, we'll see ya. These are the tiny garden snails I was talking about. You can see how small they are compared to my finger here. You can find these in your backyard under pieces of wood, cardboard. We have a garden, so I find them all over the garden. But don't get the white ones. The white ones, I'm pretty sure mean they're dead. There's nothing inside. It might be kind of rotten inside, so you don't want to feed him that. But he loves these. Has a snail inside it that he likes to eat, and then the calcium that he gets off this shell will help with his shell. So look for them.